It was a sunny day in New Metropolis. Diana Darkhog was sitting at the park by herself. She was waiting for a friend of hers to show up, and it was actually Amy Rose. They had been planning to spend time today since they hadn't been able to do that since Amy had been very much occupied with her new job. And since today Amy had a day off, so she had contacted Diana earlier that same morning if it was possible that they could spend time. And since Diana wasn't working at the moment, so she had no direct plans either, so she had said yes. As she was waiting at the park for Amy to show up, they were meant to do around lunchtime. But Amy texted Diana that she would be only a few minutes late, and Diana didn't mind. And while she was waiting for Amy, another friend of hers, Cody, showed up. He was just out for a walk when he noticed Diana sitting there, and he was like, "Oh, hey, Diana. Oh, uh, hey, Cody. Are you waiting for someone?" She nodded and said that she was waiting for her best friend, Amy. Oh, I actually did not see Amy on the way here, so she might be here in the next couple of minutes, he said. She thanked him for that, and she asked him how his day has been so far. And he said that his day has been doing well, actually, since he's just relaxing. He actually went to the park to do some training for himself. He was actually doing some martial art training, and he didn't mind doing that. And only a few minutes later, Amy showed up. They Diana thanked him for the company, and both Amy and her went into town to have lunch together. And while they were eating lunch, Amy talked about her and Sonic about their future date they will have by the end of the week. Amy and Amy and Sonic have been dating for the past 2 years, and Diana was the actual one who encouraged Amy to ask Sonic out. And she was gratitude towards Diana that she actually made the plan and helped her to embrace the brave enough to ask Sonic out. Despite that Amy always chased Sonic around, but she was quite nervous of how to even ask Sonic out. But now she did. She was happy about it. Amy had asked, well, about Diana, if she had asked someone out yet or spent time with. But Diana said no, she hasn't. And in fact, there wasn't anyone that she was interested in, at least according to her. Amy asked, what about Cody? Diana was like surprised that she even mentioned Cody. And she asked, what do you mean about Cody? And Amy like, well, isn't he, well, handsome, strong, quite mysterious personality like you like? Diana was like, yeah, but I don't know if Cody even is interested in me. I thought that he is already dating someone else. Not what I think of, said Amy. I mean, I know that he spent a lot of time with Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, and some of my other friends, but I had never heard of that if Cody is romantically involved with anyone. Oh? Yeah, but I can always ask around if you want to. You can do it if you want, said Diana. After they dropped that topic, they talked about something else, and after about an hour, they decided to leave the restaurant. But suddenly, as they left, Amy got a call from Sally Acorn, the new town's ruler. She needed her help with something, and Amy apologized to Diana that it just came randomly, and they they made a promise to reschedule their date again next time. Diana said that she understood, and since Diana was a new friend of Amy, and since Sally was Amy's one of her older friends, so she understands, especially now that she's also the ruling queen or princess of the entire city. After that Amy left, Diana walked around herself in town. She was thinking. She was thinking of what that Amy had told her about Cody. She thought that Cody was quite handsome, for sure, but she wasn't really sure if she was going to be with someone like Cody. After all, he'd spent a lot of time with his male friends or at the park training. There was he didn't seem to have any romantic involvement with anyone, at least that's what Amy told Diana. But as she came home, she still was thinking about Cody, and she thought if she would be involved with anyone, any romantic relationship, it could either been Cody or perhaps even Silver. A couple of days later, as Diana was just out for a walk, she actually ran into Silver just by a random chance. They started small talking, and by just a random thought, Diana asked if Silver is aware of if Cody is involved with someone. He was like, involved? Yeah, if he's romantically involved with someone. Oh, you mean like dating? No, not what I think of, said Silver. I mean, he always spent around the time with Rouge, Cream, even Amy, but nothing much as romantic involved. Oh, yeah, at least what I think of. What do you ask? Uh, nothing, I'm just curious. Alright, that makes sense. But as they were talking, Silver actually asked Diana if she wanted to go out with him. She was a little bit surprised because first she was expecting that Silver was involved with someone else, like Blaze the cat. But it turns out he wasn't involved with anyone. But she said yes. They decided to go to the movies the next day, and she was quite surprised about that Silver had asked her out. But when she informed this to Amy by a random chance that same day, even Amy was taken aback that Silver had asked her out. But she said, you know, Diana, this might be possible that it could be something that Silver has feelings for you. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he's handsome, but never thought about it. So Amy wished her good luck with the first date. The next day, in the evening, Silver was waiting for Diana at the movies, and they actually thought to choose an action movie. They actually had a good time, a lot of laughs, and even after the movie was over, they actually went to a small diner that was open still, just to grab something to eat and just a small talk about the movie. They were just talking about what scenes was their favorite and some of the what they thought about the villains and what they thought about the hero. And they even compared some of the scenes in their fighting against Dr. Eggman until they thought they defeated them for once. They even compared some of the bad guy was almost like Eggman. Both laughed and said, except for Dr. Eggman was not as smart when he comes to like defense against us. He said, Silver said with a big smile. Diana smiled and said, yeah, even though the Diana never actually was fighting against Dr. Eggman during his time. She was, before she even moved to New Metropolis, she lived in a different places. In fact, she avoided much people as much as possible. Before then, it was because she lived in a small community, a small village. But after Dr. Eggman attacked her village because they claimed to have been resisting him, But they weren't. They were just a small farming community. But after she lost her friends and family to being roboticized, she escaped. She had been living off the grid since. But after she heard the news that Dr. Eggman was dead, finally dead, she decided maybe it was time to come out of hiding and to live among other people. She did had some difficulties to adjust a new modern life again, but with the help of Cody, Sonic, Amy, and the others, she didn't have very much difficult. But now, she is now sitting with Silver at a diner, having a small talk about their first date. He even asked her if she would like to go out again sometimes, and she said yes. They actually did went on several dates afterwards, to the movies, dinner, even have picnics. It was looking quite bright for her. She thought that she actually managed to find her true soulmate. But after about 2 months of dating, Silver actually announced to Amy, to Diana, that he no longer was romantically involved with her anymore. Or at least that he thought that he had feelings for her, but it turns out it wasn't much romantically. She was a bit sad, but she understood. But they remained as good friends though. After that day, she decided that she didn't want to be involved with anyone romantically, for at least for a while. But Amy, who had actually heard about this, she understood. But after about a couple of weeks after the breakup, Amy had tried to convince to Eager that Diana tried once again, but this time maybe tried to with someone else in town. But Diana didn't want to do anything much involved to be any with anyone romantically. First, the reason that she just wanted to be left alone for some time. And since Silver was her first boyfriend in a while, but she thought about maybe try again, but just only when she was ready. It happened that Amy did brought up the topic from time to time when they would spend time if she had considered dating anyone or who she would consider dating, but Amy was just only thinking of her Diana for the best. But Diana, though, she started feeling a bit annoyed of this. So she said, I thought maybe about Cody. Amy was like, Cody? Are you sure? Yeah. So after that meeting, Amy was like, well, if you find him, ask him out. Oh, I will, she said. That same day, when Diana went to the park just to relax and even hopefully to see Cody, which she did. He was just been taking a break from his training when she walked up to him and asked if he would like to go out with her. He was like, whoa, Diana, are you really asking me out? She nodded and said yes. Well, to be fair, Diana, I actually had been thinking about asking you out, but just haven't really had the courage. But now you did it. Well, I don't see any no reason why to. So they decided to go out for dinner the same evening. He was going to pick her up at her place at around 6 p.m. and he did. They went to a small restaurant at which they had a good time. They were just having a serious conversation about their future, of their separate future, what they thought about doing in the future. He he said that he wanted to be a teacher in self-defense or martial art defense, and that Diana, she had always wanted to be a teacher or something. And after the first date, Diana felt somehow happy for once. She felt maybe that Cody could have been that true soulmate that she has been looking for. But she didn't even hesitate to do it first because she wanted to actually wait to see if this could be in a long-term relationship with someone like with Cody. It's just because that she just wanted to wait to make it official. But after first date, they continued been dating for the next several months. After nearly 6 months of dating, both of them actually made it official. But even though that now they were an official couple, Diana was still a little bit hesitating that maybe that Cody could have been her true soulmate that she has been waiting for, or maybe that he couldn't have been the one. But she was really much at first hesitating to want to believe or not to believe. But in the end, she was right. Because no matter after 6 months, Cody has always been there. Even if it did happen that they didn't see each other for so often since he had his work. Because around the time when they had been together for 6 months, he actually had opened up his small martial art training school. And it actually had off quite well for him. And at the same time, Diana wanted to find her first job herself. But it wasn't much any particular job that she was qualified for. She wanted to be a teacher, but unfortunately she didn't have the training or education for that. And she had been told that she had to go in for some sort of a few years of education in order to get to be as a teacher. So she decided why not to do that. So for next 4 years, Diana actually went through education to be as the hope to fulfill her dream to be a teacher. And she had Cody with her side the whole time. She was just happy for that because they were actually happy together. She could feel how happy she were with him. He was always there supporting her, even when she had a bad day at educational school, and he always took her out to her dinner or even cooked for her at home because it always helped and cheered her up. But after 4 years, she finally had finished her education and was now officially a teacher. She was even offered to work as an elementary teacher in the first grade. She was really happy about it. She accepted the offer, and even the studies of the students loved it. She was just very much loved over all the students. And at the time of Diana's and Cody's 5th-year anniversary, he actually took her out to a restaurant to celebrate. And he even proposed to her. She said yes immediately because she was just happy. She was really excited that he actually had finally proposed to her and to ask the big question. When they announced this to the friends and family, they were all happy for them. And then after a while, Amy couldn't have been happy for her best friend, Deanna. They decided to have a small, close wedding, though, since they didn't have the money to afford enough to big church wedding. But they didn't mind it though. As long as they had invited some close friends and close family, that's what all that matters to them. Diana had asked Amy to be her bridesmaid of honor, and she said yes. Cody had asked Sonic to be his best man, and he was actually happy about it too. Even after the wedding itself, at this wedding reception party, everyone could see how happy that Cody and Diana were together. They couldn't have been happier because this pure happiness was the most amazing one. They even went to another small kingdom for a honeymoon for 2 weeks. And both actually had a great time there. They were just enjoying the sightseeing, even they were just having an amazing time. They were just happy to have fulfilled their dream and enter a new chapter in their lives. And 3 years later, Diana and Cody announced to their family and friends they were expecting their first baby within the next couple of months. Both families and friends were excited, and they also learned they were expecting a boy. And then the day came where the son was finally born. They named their son Cody Jr. Cody Jr. was like his father, strong, fast runner, but also very loyal. He always stood up for his friends, even as a young child. And he was also very much talented when it came to fighting, especially in martial arts. He often took classes with his father when he was younger, and it actually inspired him that he wanted to take over these classes after his father when he had retired one day. And he actually did. And Cody Jr., he even fell in love with another hedgehog female in a new metropolis. And they actually got married after being dating for about 5 years and later have two daughters and one son together. 4 years later, they had a daughter which they named Diamond. Diamond was like her older brother, Code Jr. She was very much calm. She was brave, strong, also fast runner. But there was also one thing that she liked to do the most, and that was actually cooking. She liked to be cooking, and she wanted to be a chef or a cook one day. And when she was older, she actually opened up her own small diner in New Metropolis, and it was a good success for her. Even at some point, she even fell in love with another male hedgehog. And they even got married after being dating for about 4 years, and they later have two daughters and one son together. 3 years later, they even had another daughter which they named Red. Red was very shy at first while growing up, but she grew past that. But she was like her older brother, Cody Jr., very strong, but she was also a very loyal friend. She always stood up for her friends from bullies, no matter what. Even if it could let her into fights, but she wouldn't even hesitate to fight in order to defend her friends and family in need. And even she wanted to be a teacher of fighting skills like her older brother. And in fact, she even worked at the same teaching classes as Cody Jr. did. And even at some point, she even fell in love with another male hedgehog. And they even got married after being dating for about 4 years and had two daughters. Diana couldn't have been happier to have found her true soulmate within Cody. Even when she was at the time dating Silver, she wasn't didn't know if Silver could have been the true soulmate. But even after the breakup, she felt maybe there was on fate on that. But she was just happy that she even was brave enough to ask him out all those years ago. Even Cody couldn't have been happier though about when she did it though. Even Cody though. He could have been happier that Diana asked him out. Even he tried for some time to build up courage to ask her. But he was just happy that she did. And to be with someone like Diana in his life is the best thing that has ever happened. He felt happy for once. And this is how Diana the Darkhog and Cody the Darkhog found a true love, got a big family together. The end.